Wow, I think we should need to give Shay another round of applause for getting the most amazing speakers together tonight. Hasn't it been amazing? Why would anybody be at home watching Coronation Street when they could be here? Come on.
Just amazing. Incredible. What a night.
Top draw speakers. Well done. Fantastic. So, yes, the second half. So, we thought, we'd just been sitting there going, look, this story that I'm going to tell you has a bit of a down end if we're not careful. So we don't want the energy to go down because it's so amazing, yeah? So what we're going to do, if you're up for it, are you up for doing another experiential exercise? Yeah. Okay, because there's nothing like a bit of experiential. It will be crazy, I promise you. It's probably the smallest place we've done it with this many people. But anyway, it's fun. Now, the good thing about it is there's no right or wrong, no good or bad. It's just an experience. You will have whatever experience you have. So if you're up for it, we'll do it, yeah? Ready for it? Yeah. Fantastic. So we're going to give you the equivalent of the 3 C's. Now, there is a never, ever, 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 ever on both the C's. And I just realised we didn't give the guys the never, ever, 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 ever. So do you want to know what the never, ever, 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 ever to do to a woman? Yeah, because I don't want to leave you...
Not knowing what that is. So the one thing, it doesn't start with a C, so it's easy to remember. It's never, ever, 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 ever give a woman uncertainty. Ever. Because, you know, look, ask them afterwards what it's like to have a man who's uncertain. So, men, we have to step up and be certain in ourselves, basically. Yeah? So, now, the equivalent of the 3 C's is the 3 A's. So, the first A, and this is, girls, what you need to do for guys, yeah? This is what you need to do for guys. That will make them stand strong and be certain in themselves, yeah? So you have to help them along the way. And the first one is to appreciate. Absolutely. Actually, the first one's acknowledge.
Well,
sorry, we haven't done this for a long time.
No.
There's an order and sequence to it. Okay. The way to remember this is to remember, girls, that a man, actually something that was said earlier, which I love, which is that when a man is fully on his purpose, when he knows what he's here for, he knows, what his purpose on this planet is. When I first met Tony was actually presenting his vision for the future of mankind, just a small thing. And I went to a television studios and listened to him with a group much like tonight. And I actually came away going, I've never met a man so much on his purpose. And we got together, very quickly, very much like the last story, actually, very quickly after that. And it caused me to it was so easy then for me to use these 3 A's. And it's easy for me to acknowledge him in his greatness. And what a man is so looking for is for you to share with him how incredible he is. And I always, we always say, because we do a lot of coaching with couples, and we say, look, if you really don't feel like this man is like on a pedestal, so that you can acknowledge and and put him on that pedestal and tell him how amazing he is, then maybe that's something to think about. Maybe this is not the right relationship, or maybe you're not showing up in the way you need to as a woman. And this is not about. This is not being like his mom going, you were a good boy, I'll give you a gold star. This is about actually acknowledging the task that he has done, what he's achieved, what he's overcome. Men are so amazing. They're such solution machines that we need to acknowledge them for everything that they overcome and everything that they manage. So that's the first one.
Yeah, and obviously in London you've got a very good example in Trafalgar Square. There is a man on the top of that column. Your man needs to be on a column that high.
Yes, right up there.
Right.
And so, as Tony said, the second A is to acknowledge and appreciate. So appreciate is the second A. And that's to show him how that his greatness and his incredibleness affects you. So, like I remember, like telling you about him saying, my woman doesn't put out the trash and my woman doesn't put petrol in the car. And I said, oh my God, I so appreciate that. It makes me feel like a princess, like a goddess. Makes me feel like I can really, as that lady was saying, really live my purpose as a woman. And so, that's the second one, definitely, to show, tell him how much you appreciate what he does for you.
So acknowledge, appreciate. The third one is to adore.
Yes. Now, there are some more A's, because if this is an intimate relationship, it really is that word adore. It's like he's on a pedestal. I absolutely adore everything about him, and I really just look up to him. If this is a non-intimate relationship, the word admire is so, so incredible. And it just reminds me, just quickly telling you about my father passed away about 5 or 6 years ago. And when he was very, very old, passed away in his 80s. And I remember one day going to see him, and he was like a shadow of his former self. He was like really bent over and really not happy, very unhappy, very ill. And I remember just going and kneeling in front of him and just saying these 3 A's, and just saying, Daddy, I just, acknowledge you for all the great things that you've taught me, all the great things that you've achieved in your life. And I really appreciate the things that you've taught me. It's made me feel, I've always felt, ever since I've been a little girl, I've always felt safe with you. And then I said, and I admire you so much for the things that you're still doing for this family, that you're still head of this family, and he actually went from literally down here like this and grew like this, and he was like, oh my God, my daughter's like got me on a pedestal. It was just incredible. And I just watched it happen, and it was beautiful. And as Tony said, there's a sort of like a never, ever, ever, ever. And that never, ever, ever is to criticize a man, because that does really make him feel like you've, kind of like stuck something in him. And that's why we have a story about that too, so that women really understand what it feels like for a man.
So, are you ready for the story? Yeah. Okay, so we have to close our eyes again if you want the full-on experience. So this story is about a couple. And they live in a very big house. They're very well-to-do. He's actually a company director of a very, very large company, has a very large salary. And this one particular day, he says to his wife before he leaves for work that evening there's a very big dinner at the company, and he wants her to go with him. And so he said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my gold credit card, and I want you to go out and you can spend whatever money you want. You can buy dresses, shoes, handbags, you can have your hair done, do whatever you want, spend as much as you want. I just want to have the most beautiful woman come with me tonight to the company dinner. So he goes off in his car, and she phones her friend up and says, I've got his card, and he said I can spend anything I want. So would you come with me? He said, I've already booked my hair and my makeup. So would you meet me at the hairdresser's, and then we'll go dress shopping and shoe shopping. So sure enough, off she goes, and she gets her hair done. She gets her makeup done by one of the top people in London. And then her friend comes in and says to her, wow, you look amazing. So she's gone, yes, let's go to Harrods and buy something amazing. So off they go to Harrods. She tries on about 20 dresses and then buys the first one she tried on. And then she bought some shoes and a handbag, and she's standing in front of the mirror, and the woman's saying to her friend, saying to her, you look incredible, he's going to go crazy when he sees you dressed like this. And so she thanked her and went home. Now, when she got home, she had about an hour or so to get herself ready. And so she went upstairs, and she already got her hair and her makeup done, but she just spent some time getting her dress on and getting really prepared. And then she came downstairs, and they had a very big hallway, and she just sat in the chair and waited for him. And eventually she heard the car coming up the gravel drive, and she heard him get out the car door and slam the car door. And he came up to the door and put his key in the door, so she stood up, ready for him to come in the door. And as he opened the door, she was there standing and looking amazing. And he said, what do do you think you look like? Who put your makeup on like that? That looks absolutely terrible. You look like a whore. Your hair looks terrible. You know I hate blue dresses. Whatever possessed you to buy blue, I am not going to the dinner with you looking like that. You better get upstairs and do something much better than that. Now that, girls, is a little bit what it's like when you criticise a man. So it's why it's a never... Well, just ask the guys, yeah? And criticism for guys is like, if you give them a helpful suggestion, believe it or not, that is a criticism in their world. In their world, that's just how it is. So never, ever, 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 ever criticise a man, because that's what he's feeling like inside. So we need to shake that out. Yeah. Let's do some of that shaking.
Yeah, you can see why we said we won't end there. We've got an exercise to do right now, which
this exercise is called the dragon exercise, yeah? So the first thing we need to do is, I think we got about even numbers of guys and girls here, yeah?
I have no idea.
I think it looks pretty even to me.
We'll soon find out.
So now what we need to happen is we need guys to go and find a girl. Yeah? Go and find a girl. Now, the girls, you might find this difficult, but you have to sit and wait to be selected. Okay, so you need to do nothing.
In this day and age, this is not so common.
Yes.
Right. And also, if you're in a couple, we suggest that you work on this together. The man finds his woman, because we're not suggesting that you go and find a different one.
Yes. That's not good for your relationship if you choose another woman. So chaos will prevail. Now, look, if we do have more women than men, there will be men out there, I know, I can see some already, who will be able to handle 2 women. There will. So we've even had 1 man handle 3. Yeah. So, men.
Again, let's remember this is just an exercise, it's not for real life.
It's for practice. So, men, are you ready for this? Yes. Right, now you have to come and select a woman and find as much space as you can find, and we'll make this happen, yeah? So go, 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 men, find a woman. Everyone could join in, cameramen, sound men.
There's women over here.
There's women available over here. There's a lot of women available down the front.
Come on, the guys at the back. Come and find a woman, please.
Come on, men.
It's just an exercise.
Men, you need to filter to the front. Girls, would you like to stand up and wave if you haven't been found yet? We've got some happy people already.
We absolutely promise you guys this is not for life, it's just for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. So, girls, I'm still getting a sense there's quite a few girls down the front that have not got a man. So we need the men to come from the back with your woman that you've already chosen and get another one up the front, yeah? So, guys, which guy's only got 1 girl?
They're coming.
Okay, you need to bring that woman with you to the front, yeah?
The men are on their way. I can
Don't
see
forget
them
to lead. Be in the front, not in the back. That's it. Come on down. There's a few women around here that are waiting to be found.
Here we go.
Some of them are still sitting down quietly, waiting.
Good. Come on. Oh,
Okay.
They're taking their time.
They are taking their time. They're picking carefully. Okay. She's been spotted. She's been spotted.
Look. Yes. Fantastic.
Hey, there you go.
Great.
Any spare women? I'm sort of getting a sense there's some over there. We're spare over there. We are. Anyway, look, if this is the best we can do.
Yes.
You've done a great job, men. Well done, well done. So we call this the dragon exercise. The dragon exercise. And the reason we call it the dragon exercise is because when things go wrong in life, women tend to see things going wrong as dragons. Yeah? They tend to see them as dragons. And so we're just going to see what happens. It's just to play with the energy, yeah? So the first thing we need to do is the guys to stand in front of their women. So the woman's got you know, just standing sort of behind him like this. Behind him like this, yeah.
Sort of nuzzling
yes.
into
Yeah,
his
get
arm.
really close, really close. Touch him, feel him, there you go.
And if there's two women, just one each side, there you go.
This man's an expert, I tell you.
Great man here.
Good, so are you all behind him, girls? All behind him, right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shout 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to shout dragon. Now, guys, what you need to do is imagine a dragon coming towards you, and your job is to protect this woman. So you need to get in front of her and protect her from the dragon. Get it? Yeah. All good with that? Men are very good with instruction. So, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, dragon! There you go.
Oh.
Some very good dragon slayers there.
So ladies, girls, anybody want to shout out how good that feels?
Awesome.
What are you saying? Shout out. What's that feel like? Awesome. What else? Safe. Anybody not comfortable with that, girls? Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's
Shay, you have some very feminine women here. It's fantastic.
Okay, so let's go back to shake that out. Now, obviously in time, you know, Mrs. Thatcher came into the world and arrived as the leader of our country in the 1980s, yeah? We all remember Mrs. Thatcher? And obviously at a similar time, you know, or before that actually, let's go back to the swinging 60s. You remember the swinging 60s, yeah? No, okay. Sadly I do. Anyway, the swinging 60s.
We're very old, I'm sorry.
So with the swinging 60s, sort of what happened was there was sort of, anybody heard of Germaine Greer? Yeah. So she sort of is famous for the feminism movement, yeah? And so what sort of happened to humans in this time was instead of the man sort of being here, we sort of stood side by side like this. So we just need to now stand side by side.
So women, if you could go to the side of your man, please.
That's it, just
Or
stand
men.
side by side, yeah?
Yep.
Now, yeah, okay, so now just feel the energy's a bit different here, yeah? So now what we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to count 3, 2, 1, dragon, and here's what you do. You look to your woman, and this is equality, yeah? You look to your woman and say, you've got to look to both, yeah? You've got to say, now, do you want to get the dragon, or shall I? Yeah, just try it on, yeah? Okay, so here we go. We ready? So, guys, 3, 2, 1, dragon!
So girls, women, what's the truth? What are you feeling now? Yeah. What are you feeling now? Shout it out. Sorry? You have to be the man. And you know what's really interesting energetically is even before dragons, just by standing side by side, women can be going into an adrenalized state of energy 24/7 just because they're getting ready for dragons arriving. And that's why it doesn't feel right in our bodies. So
then along came Mrs. Thatcher after Germaine Greer. And of course, you know, she was our leader, the first woman Prime Minister Britain had ever had. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand side by side like this, yeah? And when I do 3, 2, 1, dragon, women, what you've got to do is you've got to jump in front of your man and protect him from the dragon. Yeah? So, are you ready, girls? 3, 2, 1, dragon!
So, gentlemen.
So, guys, yeah.
Yeah, you.
So, guys, would you like to tell the truth? What does it feel like when a woman jumps in front of you? Weird. Not comfortable.
Not comfortable. What else?
What else? Anything else down the back? Shout it out.
I felt quite safe.
There's always one.
That's what do they call that? Metro man or something. Yeah. But actually, we've done this exercise many, many times. A lot of men go, it feels, you know, I feel like I'm useless. I've got no job to do. Cool. So we better.
Yeah, so what we better do now is at least put it back how nature intended it, perhaps, yeah? Now, look, you take from this whatever you take from it. There's no right or wrong. But, look, could it be there's something innate in humans about this, about the male feminine energy, you know? And, yes, as Beverly said, I think, look, we've all got both. It's how we use it in the modern world that makes the difference. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand side by side again. And this time, men, we are going to go back and put it all back right again, yes. So, jump in front and protect your woman from the dragon. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, dragon! There you go. Give him a hug. Give him a hug.
Oh! So in this month of Valentine's month of love, wow, look at the love in the room, Tony.
Yes. So, I think now you're going to know how to deal with dragons and you know how to do a little bit of tantra. Maybe we need to all go home and have an early night and enjoy. Thank you for playing Full Out. Give yourself a round of applause.